Hello everyone, I bring to you a fog match today. And it is not any fog match, it is some top level fog match. We have two of the best fog players on the site currently. We have Rip, which I think currently is number one overall of the on the site, and we have Tordred. They're both in the fog ladder. They're like either top five or somewhere there. You know, there's a few of them battling there for the top five, top 10, but these two are extremely good. And it's gonna be really interesting because of the CO picks. This is a tier 2 fog match, and for a lot of time, people have been saying, "Oh, tier 2 fog is just Olaf mirror," and everyone just picks Olaf. I don't know what's happened. Some people say it was the map pool. Maybe there's some truth to that, but I don't know. People have just really been spamming Olaf for quite a few months. I feel like all this year has been just Olaf. Not really trying out COs, and maybe there is some truth to that. Yeah, the CO, the map pool, but this map is a little bit different. It's not your average, really like higher income kind of map. It's a little bit like mid income. It's and we can just now move on to talking about that map, and I'll talk a little bit more about the matchup in a second. But the map is like, it actually is made by Rip, by the way, so he's kind of playing in his home map, so to say. But it is just a very classic kind of fog map, very WYJ kind of map. I got the little lab in the middle, you know, just very wide open. There's very few forests, and then just one single mountain in the corner that doesn't grant too much value from this vision. So yeah, just very typical fog map. I think the idea he had said behind this map is that every base is kind of like responsible for one front, so to speak. And so it's not necessarily like one really strong side and one weak side. You can kind of have this base send vehicles even towards the middle, and then either fight for the middle or go for one side or go for the other. It's kind of like you really determine where you want to go. Again, pretty WYJ. It's like in Stalingrad as well. And then you have your airport over here. A pretty late airport because you first have to capture your base, and then it's 2 turns away to get it, and only then you can start making a T-copter if you want, or a B-copter. I think T-copter would be a little bit too late. It would be nice to have it earlier, but B-copters for sure. You can start getting into this area in just 2 turns. Over here, usually the most contested spaces are like this corner right here, these 4 cities, or just this area. There's a lot of like positioning battles over here and the mirror area, and that's pretty much it. There's no HQs, you got 2 labs, so if you're able to push deep enough on both sides and get both of these labs, then you're gonna win. And let's talk a little bit about the matchup. So because it's kind of mid-income, still Olaf, I know more than 50% of the people will like favor Olaf, always, oh yeah, fog, Olaf. And there's some truth. I mean, it's some, I can understand it because Olaf, that Winter Fury stings so hard. But I do appreciate Rip a lot in the sense that he's always trying to pick other COs. He'll sometimes go for Sammy in tier 4 or tier 3 fog maps. Here he's going for Max. Just trying to go away from the norm, away from the meta, and just like away from global damage and just what everyone's picking, you know. Instead of going for Jess in tier 4, you'll go for Sammy. Tier 2, Max. You know, it's just like not your usual picks, and I think there's definitely something there to respect. It's just global league, you know. You can have some fun. If you lose a game, you're just gonna get another one. It doesn't really matter. But let's get right into the match really quickly, as we can keep talking about that. I kind of changed their colors. I know Rip loves his brown desert, but I've started to liking to cast these games on the site itself, so I can have the music and the sound effects, and I don't know, it has like a different feeling. I would like to hear what you guys think about that. If you still Do you rather like the replay viewer better, or do you like this, the just casting it on the side, or do you not care? Like, is it the same? I think it's also cool that I can pull up the damage calculator every now and then and just kind of check on certain tactics. But yeah, so we have Rip over here in Amber Blaze. He's not gonna be very happy with me that I changed into Amber Blaze, but hey, it is what it is. And then we have Tortured over here with Olaf with the Azure Asteroid faction. And Rip is gonna open with Recon. He's gonna try to put some pressure. This is day 4 Recon, so not a day 3 super aggressive. I'm kind of nuking my own economy early on kind of Recon. So it's a day 4. It's a little bit more chill. You know, you're getting that extra infantry out, and I think that's super worth. You get those 3 guys. You do need, you gotta have this guy go over here and then probably go for this corner. This one will probably maybe go for here, and then this one. But yeah, just having 3 infantry instead of just 2, I think makes sense. Just not super aggressive, a little bit more laid back aggressive, maybe to get some vision as well. And Torture actually kind of like mind reading, gonna make a tank over here. I guess if there was to be a very slightly stronger side, I would say it's more so like this direction, like from this side of Rip downwards where he made the Recon, just because you have the airport over here and feels like you can get to over here much quicker to this corner in 2 turns, while over here, like if you're trying to go to this corner, it's going to take you 1 turn, 2 turns, almost 3 turns. Depends where the fight is, right? It's a little bit in the middle, so it can kind of depend. But so I guess it makes sense then that Torture's like, you know what, I'm just gonna make a tank, expecting some pressure from Max, and makes a tank on the weaker area, and then makes an artillery. I'm also sure that Tortured has played this map before. Tortured is like, it's sort of like the Starflash school. Just plays really fast, plays lots of games, and so I bet that he's already played this map before. Rip, I don't know, maybe he has. I mean, it is his map, so maybe. But anyways, Torture is gonna make a tank and artillery, which is it's some nice tech against Max. I think it was because of funding though. We can go back, yeah. So the funding didn't allow him to get a tank, but this is still nice because you can, for example, infantry starts a capture, and then you get attacked by a Recon, for example, from Max, and then you can attack with your tank from the shoal, so you can ensure the capture. You attack from the city, whatever, and then you back it up with this artillery. Ooh. Say you put this artillery like right here in this forest, like look, 2 turns and it's on this forest, and then it's like, ooh, if Max comes in and attacks my tank with his tank, then I can just destroy that tank with my artillery. It's similar to playing against Kindle in that sense. So that's what our Torture is going to try to do. He's going to try to go for this city. Rip does have this Recon right here, so he's going to have vision of this area. He's going to spot both infantry, but he's not going to spot this tank. And this tank is like is just barely covering that infantry, really capturing. Not really this one. So Rip could technically just gamble and hit this guy, and would go unpunished. Will Rip interrupt that capture? We'll see. But he also made another Recon on this side, and is backing it up with a tank. So he might just have this Recon just there for vision. So he's gonna move it over here into this corner property, sort of to also deny this infantry from starting that capture. And it's gonna get those infantry out to these 2 are gonna be looking at these 2 properties to get them next turn. I'm gonna get the other Recon over here to get some vision, so he's gonna be able to spot all of these 3 cities, of which Rip is already capturing this one, and Torture is not there just yet. Something must have been off there from the capture phase that is making Torture 1 turn later here. But yeah, he's gonna move out. He's gonna get trapped over here with this recon. He was gonna try to go for that city. That's not gonna happen. Gonna start that com tower capture. And now that he sees the recon, he's like, okay, I'm gonna, boom, just lock over here, protect my infantry. He does need to pull this tank back, and he's gonna put it in range, in vision range of this recon. But even if there is a tank to hit it, he still is protecting it with artillery. So everything over here is protected. And he's gonna try to push out over here. He just has this tank protecting all of the infantries. Just playing very, very conservatively, just, you know, as what the matchup asks, right? I'm just gonna try to get my properties. Even if I'm one property down, it's fine. I'm Olaf. I'll just Winter Fury max to death. I'll be fine. So kind of like just trying to move forward, protect my captures, and that's kind of the vibe that Torture is going for. Rip can't really let that happen very comfortably, so it's gonna be interesting what kind of pressure that he's gonna be trying to put. He can't really attack over here because there's his tank. He could just sacrifice the recon, but not worth it. And he's gonna go for already a triple recon, so he's gonna have 3 recons on the field and just tanks, just tanks, even base skips for that second tank right here. He's kind of sending them towards the middle. You got this tank protecting this infantry. You got this tank kind of covering these 2 cities as well. Kind of has vision of these. Doesn't have vision of this city, so I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to stop that from happening. But we got Torture going for this corner city, and like really nice setup. And Rip's gonna go for this corner right here. Doesn't look like Torture would be able to get vision and interrupt, but he'll just go for this one, and he should try to go for this city, and he'll be fine. Or if it stays neutral, maybe he can also be fine as well, as long as he gets this. Like in his shoes as Olaf here, this is a very important turn. He's like, if I can get this property, awesome. I get this one, awesome. If I get this one, super awesome. And this one, done. I'm at equal income, I'm good. I can just pull back, just defend my properties. And once that Winter Fury starts coming, it's gonna be so hard, almost impossible for Max to ever flip anything. Because once Winter Fury starts coming, it's like your infantry always damaged, you know, it takes you forever to replenish your infantry, just a mess. So this is an important turn here for Rip. In this scenario, you kind of have to interrupt. Which ones do you interrupt? Do you interrupt all of them? Like, you could technically interrupt this one, you can interrupt this one, you can interrupt this one. You can even interrupt this one and sacrifice some units, but we'll see what Rip decides to do. Definitely has to take some sort of action, and so he is going to actually go and attack there. Wow, good sight. That's 6 HP. Is that normal for a max recon? Oh wow, yeah, okay. That's really nice. He's not gonna attack down here in this corner. He's just gonna let this city go down. The thing is that as he also saw this artillery getting set up in that forest, and then or did he? I think so. But anyways, he saw all of this stuff here. He can safely assume, okay, he has a whole tank and artillery over here that are not over here. So I can just pull back my recon, which is half a vehicle almost, and use all of my army to maybe invest over on this side. Like if this is here, then he won't have as much on this side. Here, so he's actually gonna go and to KO this infantry. He's gonna send a tank there. Ooh, okay, interesting. I was thinking maybe this infantry could go and capture, and then you interrupt this, you kill that, put the tank there. He's not gonna step on that city. He's just gonna use that infantry to finish this one off and have the double tank there. He's just gonna pull back from this corner, not even gonna attempt to go for that city, and he is going to interrupt this city right here. His infantry will probably die, but it's fine. It's a bit overwhelming for these forces to defend from all of this attack. So interesting turn there by Rip. That definitely an important moment for a lot of players there. whether to what to do, what to attack or not, with how much, what positioning, right? For example, I would have put that infantry right here, and then interrupt this capture to finish that, and do the double tank, but have this other infantry over here. But Rip saw it differently. Maybe he's okay with letting this tank attack the recon from the city. He is max, so it doesn't really matter because he can still 2-hit KO a tank on a city every day, all day, every day. That tank's actually gonna go and kill that infantry. So, okay. So it kind of worked out for Rip. Torjut never did go for that city. Even if he does go and Rip attacks, he has no follow-up. Like, he doesn't have any tanks to back that tank up. So he's kind of forced to just go more towards the corner, more far away from these units that Rip has revealed, this double tank and recon, in which he's probably, backing up with more stuff. So he's like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go away from that and attack what I can for free. And he did get the corner city. He'll maybe get this one if Rip doesn't keep interrupting. But kind of pulling back these forces more towards over here. Also has this other tank. And then has like a little bit of a spread formation. But he's sending an artillery and a copter. And looks like he's kind of copter spamming. His copter is protecting even this tank, just in case if there was a tank coming. But I bet that he wasn't super happy that he couldn't get these two. He'll try. I know he's going to try to get them back with his artillery. He can try to set up. Imagine having the artillery on this forest. It's going to be really nice. Even on this forest as well. Like, ideally, you get them and then you have an artillery here and you lock down that city. Or same thing over here, right? So very important there for Rip to interrupt this early on. He's going to have this recon on the golden spot of, the center lab tile. Get a ton of vision. Specifically, knowing what's front shifting. You can even see all the tiles, right? Like, look at the C tile, planes. So anything that wants to go from this side to the other side is going to have to go through the recon's vision. Very important. So he's actually going to send another infantry to delay this capture even further. I'm going to start that capture, pull back some of the vehicles, position them just behind, and have the infantry do their job, which is go and capture. Is he even... He probably doesn't. No, there's so many infantry here, he probably doesn't even go for that. Okay, he does. Okay, he does. He does go for the capture. And it is now Torjut's turn. He also has a decision to make of whether to take out this recon, right? It's such an annoying thing to see from your opponent. That right there is like such a huge spy. And you can't even take it out with like tank recon. I think you need double tank because we can check real quick. How much does the tank do? Leaves it at 4, and then the recon maybe a sort of roll. I'm not gonna do the math right now here live. So, but he's gonna go with double infantry. Ooh, and gets the KO. Lucky KO there. A 33% chance. I don't think that infantry had chip. He's gonna attempt it again. Will he get the roll? Doesn't get the roll. He got lucky there. And he's gonna send the tank. He's gonna join there. And this infantry is just here in the mountain, just chilling, just getting vision of not much, but is what it is. Artillery's gonna back this tank up. We're just gonna protect it with the recon and infantry. We're gonna bring both copters. Gonna front switch this tank, which was sitting on the city. Gonna try to send this one as well. Slowly going through the safe tiles, just in case Max decides to just plunge in and boom, first strike. Imagine it's on the road and then you just send it, boom. But yeah, it doesn't even touch the recon because what are you gonna do about it? You send 2 tanks, you need something else to block because if not, Max can just smash those tanks from the lab. And Rip is gonna use that middle recon, take out some infantry. This is just like, I don't even think that Rip wants to get these cities. Like, that's not the objective. He wants to keep the fight here going. Wants to try to get the best trade as possible, as he is able to break through and get a shot onto that artillery with that recon, which is really, really nice. Gonna get first strikes against these infantry. Gonna first strike that tank. Looking like a brutal turn right there. As Torjut has like 5 infantry were here. This artillery, this tank, just a little bit delayed on the tanks, front switching, and Rip is investing much less over here, right? He's just having these 2 infantry, this 3rd one, and this 1 recon. Just have vision of what's happening. See if Torches wants to go for any of this, but just under investing. You know, like very as little as possible. So long Torches doesn't sneakily get any of these, that's fine. Rip doesn't want to push any further. He's trying to invest everything over here, get a good fight, get a good trade, and try to get that income lead against Olaf so that Olaf can't sit comfortably, pretty much. That's the overall strategy. Torches is going to get that city, so that is going to put them at 18 and 19k. But after that attack from Rip, which was pretty big, there isn't going to be much of a counterattack here from Torches, so a very nice turn right there of value. This artillery is not going to shoot. There was a tank here that was lost that had only shot at like 2 infantries. Now it's gone. There are 2 copters, but Rip already has an anti-air ready. That's probably the main reason why he felt so comfortable going for this attack. He already has a copter and an anti-air, so he can defend from 2 copters pretty much. These 2 are there for that until this one comes in, and then he can just have copters attack at other stuff. Torches is still gonna just gonna keep attacking. Gonna use the copters. Gonna take out a tank, gonna shoot over there, and then just somewhat block, try to take out a few, but that's all that he's gonna be able to do. He keeps bringing artillery. He's been making so many artillery. Wow. I'm not sure if it was a funds things, but that is definitely a lot of artillery. Again, maybe it's the fact of the income. It is very medium income, almost like low income. It's honestly like 19, 18k. I think it's probably 20. Yeah, I think it's 20k split. So it's somewhat mid to low income. So I can see maybe why some forced artilleries are being built just because of the funds. And it's already day 12, and then in other maps you already see Neo tanks, for example. Now, like when you have 24k, 25k. Now Rip is gonna send this recon from the right over here to have some more vision. Again, being able to spot up to this tile, which is gonna give him all the information of any units front shifting. So he has a lot of intel. He knows almost all units that are committed on this front, except for whatever is being sent from this base, and if there's any copter or not over here. But he is going to attack back, gonna use a tank, finish it off with the injured one, and then he could attack both copters. But look at that charge going up, right? Olaf is already at 4 stars, Max is at 3.5. But those 2 copters I think are gonna go down. I'm gonna see, boom, 1 down. The recon is gonna finish off that artillery, and copter is gonna get a first strike on that one, boom. And there's nothing to defend those copters. Like, there's nothing to retaliate here. This copter is not in range of that copter. This tank can't really reach this anti-air because this recon is blocking. You can't take it out. It's looking really tricky here for Olaf. It was this nice fight that Rip was able to set up, but now those powers are coming online. So we'll have to see if it is enough for Rip, right? Because that Winter Fury is going to sting. He even starts this capture over here, and there's nothing that Torches can do to stop this capture except get Winter Fury. So he's gonna kill that tank. He just has so little vehicles. The trades here with the vehicles have been so in favor of Rip, and here comes the Winter Fury. Boom. Everything down to HP. That is going to stop that capture, but he doesn't have any more vehicles to respond, so he's just gonna shuffle around units to protect. Just make a nice formation here, just protect everything with his artillery. Try to go for this capture, probably gonna put the artillery behind and surround it with infantry. Doesn't know that this recon is here though, so that can get shot at. Oof, that's gonna hurt. And now it's Rip's turn. This recon got healed up. That might have been the reason that he puts it here, that he was already expecting the Winter Fury as well as putting these infantry on the city, so they all get healed up. He did get a lot of funds drained for that, but this is definitely very worth having full HP units. You got this tank and this tank, everyone getting healed up to 10 HP. And will he use Max Blast this turn? He's gonna join cap over here. He's gonna block to just ensure getting this city flip. He will probably not allow this to go through. I think. It doesn't look like he's gonna use Max Blast. It looks like he's moving units more towards the middle. He's not gonna engage anymore. Gonna wait for the snow to go away. He's going to interrupt here, and gonna have this other infantry in range to keep interrupting. Possibly another one. This one, no, just leaves it there. I think this one is more so in range of like this city and this lab. But does have quite a few, like there's an anti-air and this tank, this recon, like there's quite a few to sustain this defense over here, and just putting every unit outside of range really of Turret, right? Like it's just one tile away of the vision. Just trying to ensure this and ensure that Turret can't get these cities, because there's nothing else that Rip would really want to fight for pushing any further. It's just these two cities. It's just a position brawl to get those. He's done a good job. Now he has to pull back. Many other players will keep pushing, you know, use a Max Blast, attack into this, and then get, you know, whittled down by Olaf, and then maybe just die. But no, Rip is like, okay, I'm gonna be a bit more patient. I need to ensure that doesn't happen. And Torch is actually gonna send all these 3 vehicles to break through and make sure that capture does not go through. Gonna take out that infantry and actually pull back this artillery as he spots this recon and is scared from that Max Blast. So I don't think that capture is gonna go through. It looks like Torch is really respecting that Max Blast as well. He doesn't have that charge anymore, but it's still good, right? Because if all of a sudden Rip decides to just Max Blast and take out a lot of value, then Torch can use that Winter Fury. There is a little bit of, you know, you don't want to lose all of your army from the Max Blast and then use Winter Fury for nothing. So I think Torjed would want to accumulate a little bit of army, you know, accumulate a little bit of value, and then start a fight. Just start like little trades, boom, 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 to like 1-2 tanks every turn. Charge up that Winter Fury, boom, use it, and that's kind of what Torj's gonna want to do to try to come back into the game. There's so many infantry here though, and Torch is also using artillery really nicely to protect, even locking this city tile from across the sea. Gonna take out that infantry, probably gonna take out that one as well. This recon spotting everything, being like, okay, yeah, there's nothing here, guys. You can go in and attack. I'm gonna start that capture. Even brings another tank, brings this other tank, this copter, even really sending a lot over here. So now he's kind of pulling back from this side as Torcher's really committing to get stuff from over here. The income is still pretty even, like 18 to 19. Rip still needs to do a little bit more. It was really nice trades on unit value. He's somewhat caught up after all this. It was mostly the Winter Fury, you know. The Winter Fury can do that for you. But I'm sure that Torres would like to be a little more ahead. And it looks like he might be getting a little impatient, or maybe he thinks that Rip is sending everything more towards this side, because he's sending in one tank, gonna take that recon out with that infantry, and gonna start 2 captures. So like getting pretty greedy. Gonna set up a little defensive position here on the forest, and not gonna interrupt this city, and yeah, just trying to defend over here pretty much. So he's gonna like defend both of these cities. Gonna do the classic that you leave one tile open, but because it's on a forest, it's fine. And just gonna do a nice ball over here around the artillery, and just really respecting that Max Blast. So he's being really careful of not letting a bunch of first strikes with a Max Blast to take out all of those vehicles. But at any time that could happen. Will Rip use that this turn? Will he use a Max Blast? He'll definitely want to go and interrupt these 2 captures. So I'm curious to see. He does get the city. That's going to put out 20 versus 18k. And he's going to use a recon to interrupt there. It looks like he might not use the Max Blast. He's going to attack that tank. Just going to send a 6 HP infantry to interrupt that. It looks like he might wait one more turn to use the Max Blast. Finish off that tank. He's gonna front shift 2 of these tanks towards more the middle, like more towards over here, from here, to attack this army. Gonna first strike that infantry, and yeah, just reposition everything over here. His main objective right now is probably, I'm not gonna let these 2 cities go through, hold this income advantage, and ideally get a really big max blast to just plow through the army and then get these cities. He needs to just get a huge lead in army value from the powers so that Winter Fury doesn't sting as bad. It'll do 2 HP damage, but if there isn't any army to counterattack, like the first one, you know, if Rip can get another situation like that, then it'll be super good for him. Torj's gonna go in, take out that copter. He's gonna keep capturing this. I'm gonna take out that infantry. He still wants to go for both cities, which might be a little bit too greedy. That's definitely something that happens a lot. I feel like it's happened to me a lot of times where I'm like, ooh, I'm behind. I need to go for these 2 cities, and they're right there, and so you go for both. But it's like you can only defend so much, and it's easier and more guaranteed to just go for 1, because 2, it's really hard to keep sustaining as you're like joint capping your infantry. Like if you look at Torj's infantry numbers, there isn't that many now. Look, you got this one right here, this one, and this one. Then you have a bunch of injured ones, and that's it. So Rip can continue interrupting those captures, and he'll be good. What's great here from Rip, he has a ton of vision, so he can see these 2 tanks. He's probably seeing this one get into the forest. He knows his artillery is right here, so he has a ton of vision. So will we see a max blast here? Maybe. He's sending some recons to get some vision, see what's over here. Gonna take out that copter, but also just get a bunch of vision as it kind of bugs out. He's gonna take out that copter, and he actually does use the max blast. Ooh. So infantry gonna go in, gonna get that 2 hit KO there, guaranteed because of the power. Tank gonna come in and okay, doesn't take it out. This is at 2. Boom, gonna leave that one at 1. Gonna probably KO that infantry. Yep, take that one out and take that infantry out, and reveals the force with this 1 HP infantry. Gonna take that out, probably hit the artillery, boom, and gonna take that infantry out, gonna take that one out, and then leave that one at 1. Oof, just a massacre right here. It's insane. Even gets a hit on this tank that is kind of glitching out. I don't know why Fog Games glitch a little bit on the replay here on the site, but yeah. Oof. Now look at the army from Torj. It was looking good. Look at that. He had like a copter, tank, artillery, and boom. There's pretty much no tanks now. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks were neutralized, taken out, whatever you want to call it. They're gone. This is the only thing that's left. This one won't be able to do much. So anti-airs will not be able to be taken out by Torj. That charge did go all the way up, so he probably can get a Winter Fury this very turn. But there's just not enough vehicles to deal with this army. There's way too many tanks, so he can kill a copter. We'll see. This copter from the first turn is gonna get a strike there. Copter. Oh, okay. Anti is gonna take out that copter, so that's pretty nice. And then the copters can go and attack the tanks as he gets Winter Fury. Gonna bring the new tank. Gonna go for that capture. Is is running out of fuel. So much moving around. Try to protect that capture. Really wants to force the issue over here. I'm gonna try to take that one out. Just like kind of sacrificing those low HP tanks. Take out that tank with the other copter, and that is probably it. Makes another tank, copter, base skip, and just like that. I mean, the unit value. It's still, even after Winter Fury being slightly ahead in unit value at the beginning of the turn, means that Rip is ahead on unit value, and pretty nicely, honestly. Given it's after Winter Fury, I think he could maybe sustain an attack, just like more over here, just like taking out the anti-air, and that's it. Again, it's really hard to to capture anything when these Winter Furies are going through, right? Because you have no healthy infantry. So that's kind of what I think Rip is going to do. Just keep the fight over here, just away from this army, so you can kind of control the fight. Just gonna take out that anti-air, and then not gonna fight into this, because this is just too close. This is in 1 turn range from the airport as well. Like, you're not gonna win that. So he's gonna pull back, maybe interrupt that. Is he gonna interrupt it? I think he's gonna. Ooh, actually gonna go there, and join, and he's probably thinking about sending. Okay, he doesn't the 6 HP one to just slightly interrupt that, and he's gonna have this copter tank in range. I think this recon 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 doesn't reach with a power maybe, but he has a few more infantry to keep interrupting this. So yeah, just went and cleaned up these units over here. Didn't engage over here because if he does, then he might lose in a few turns. Too much brawling, 2 turns away from a base, or 2 bases and 1 airport in 1 turn is too much. So he's being smart in keeping the fight just out of range of the enemy control area. Just focusing on these 2 cities and this corner right here. Target's gonna take out that infantry that went in. You're gonna even move in a little bit closer and surround the capture to like be like, I'm getting this city. Like you need to break through here, and then you need either 2. I think you need 2 units to interrupt this. So gonna really force the hand here from Rip. You're gonna even send the copters from over here over to this side, also blocking to get this capture. They are in this anti-air's range, so Rip can definitely take it out and then stop the capture. But a big shift of the battle by Torjo. He's like, you know what? You can have this side. I saw you sending a lot of things more towards this corner, so they're gonna be even further away if I just like shift over here. So a big change of strategy or a change of plans here by Target. This city will fall in 2 turns because it was at 8 HP. He's gonna start this capture. So now that copter is gonna go down, and I bet Rip is gonna go and interrupt that copter. Ooh, also goes down. So he's gonna interrupt with a recon, even also get some vision so he can spot all this front switching. Boom. And he's gonna get ready to start capturing this. And has to front switch everything. Again, now it's far away. This army could kind of attack over here. But I think Rip is not really engaging too much over here. I guess this city is gonna fall after all. So good job there by Torjed. The income is gonna be now even, but eventually it's gonna go back to favor Rip because these 2 cities will probably get under control of Rip. But it's like you have these 5 vehicles are out of range of this area. They could maybe reach a battle over this city. So I'll have to see what Torjed decides to do. He's gonna take out that recon. He gets that city flip. Gonna take out that infantry, and he's gonna start going for that city, and I think that's smart. Ooh, I think this might be a bit too much. Extending the battle into here into the middle is gonna be closer to these reinforcement front switching units. Okay, that's gonna be pretty dangerous. Even keeps attacking over here. He's gonna bring this artillery. I think it's smart to go for the city. Rip is prepared though to keep interrupting, but I think maybe these 2 units, this copter even, could maybe just stand back a little bit. Oof. I wonder if Rip is gonna attack into this. He's starting his turn ahead, like half a turn in unit value. So that's really big. He is way ahead in unit value. He must have like 4 vehicles more or 3 vehicles more than Torjed. So he's gonna get boom, boom, double city, now 21 to 19k. But this match is not over yet. It's definitely looking good for Rip as he uses a max force, but he has to have some very calculated attack here. He needs to make sure if he's able to take out these 4 vehicles, for example, then I think he's looking really good because he can take these 4. Stop this capture, probably wipe out this infantry, and that is going to be it. Even if Torjed gets a Winter Fury from it, there's nothing really much to be done. The army value, the vehicle count by Rip is going to be so high. That's going to get taken out. That tank is going to get taken out. That artillery's taken out finally. Boom, copter goes down. That tank goes down. He's going to interrupt there, get the KO, and gets a kill there with that recon. Oof. And he's gonna go and attack that infantry, even takes it out. So yeah, this is probably the ideal scenario that just happened by Rip. Take out all those vehicles that went in from Torjed, take out some of the infantry, deny this capture, and this is looking really bad for Target. I think, yeah. Target decides to tap out, and what a game. Kind of a short one, I think, than the usual. Actually, 40 minutes recording, but very interesting match. Just a very nice display of the difference of the strategy, right? Like, you always have the more aggressive and the stallier, unless you're in a mirror, which kind of sucks. But it's interesting to see. Usually in Fog, a lot of people have been like, "Oh, you go for global damage and you always win." Blah 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 blah. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see how to win as a more aggressive CO in Fog of War, especially with with Max. He's such an underpicked lately CO. So I think that's super interesting. I think Rip did a really good job at like forcing the fight, and there was that one turn that was really important. I think it was somewhat like day 10 must have been. Okay, the turn before. So day 9, this turn was really important. Like the fact that he went here for this attack, make sure that none of these cities, these city captures go through, was so important. And after that, it was just like making sure that the battle stayed here, ensure that Olaf does not get these cities. He did eventually get this one, but such a good job there by Rip, and even being very calculated about the attacks. Like attacked when had a power, a super up to like this line right here, and then never pushed anything any further in, because then it's too close. There's nothing really else to fight for here. You're not gonna get this city, this one or this one. You should be fighting for these cities, this one, and once you're done with that, you just front shift to the other side and do the same over there. And when you have that, you win, because at that point you just have a huge lead. There's nothing that they can do. So very good job there by Rip, and Target was really trying to do everything in his power to bring it back. I think maybe. I mean, he really did have to go for those triple caps. I'm not sure if there was some capture phase thing that was different by Target here, which made it that he was late to this city capture. But I feel like in a lot of scenarios, Target later was trying to go for both cities and try to like really stand really forward as like, I am gonna get these cities, and maybe got a little bit too close to the max blast. Maybe could have just waited a little bit more and just traded like one tank, just go for one city and just pile army behind just one city capture, because if not, that stuff can happen. It's very easy to interrupt cities and keep the fight going, and then maybe over here coming more towards the side. It's hard to tell, honestly. I think both just played really well. They're both top level players. They are definitely much better than I am. So very hard to judge, but yeah, just very interesting to see. It's interesting to see top level players still push for some of the non-meta picks, try to go for the aggressive lines, and yeah, and just break the norm. Just, you know what, global damage, fine, whatever. I'm gonna go with the aggressive CO plus movement max. So underpicked in Fog, honestly, lately. But if there is a map that is more okay for max, it's definitely this one. As you might all well know now, some of the higher income maps, the tier 2 has been changed in Fog to be like where Von Bolt and Javier have dropped down to tier 2, and so it's like Olaf, Eagle, Von Bolt, Javier, also Max, but Max kind of just dies in those maps because Olaf and Eagle would just always get their supers. And so Von Bolt and Javier are now there as the aggressive COs. So in this more mid-income maps, it's interesting to see Max, just to see how you can get a win. You know, like try to see what's the strategy that you can go for as aggressive CO, as Max in a Fog map, and execute it in a way successfully to win against the classic pick that is Olaf. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I said that 2 times. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.